You like what you like, right?
You like what you like.
You use what works.
Exactly.
So you mentioned reading. Would you like to?
I did, and I do.
Okay. All right.
So a little background here, so you know what's going on. We're at the Really Good, and Harry has some of his friends there, drinking coffee, chewing the fat, and so the important thing to know here is that Harry and Ember are really sweet on each other. We kind of picked that up in the first book, but because Ember has a past that she's really, really ashamed of, she didn't want to get into any kind of a relationship with Harry. And Harry has a secret life that he isn't going to tell anybody about. And so, this was like, how is this even going to work? Well, in book one, it doesn't really work. But they have Ember has a chat with the visiting Father Frank in Jim Callan's book. And that kind of helps her to thaw a little bit. So by the time we come to the present here in 10 Million Ways to Die, Ember and Harry are kind of dating. But because she's the pastor and she's under fire from Mary Lou, who wants her fired, they keep their relationship kind of low key. So, but it's important to understand that they are a thing, and everybody knows they're a thing because, of course, it's a small town. How can they not? So you need to know that, though, for the ending, because there's a really cool pun there. So, all right, so here we go. Harry read down the list of green coffee beans available from the wholesaler and groaned. Not for the first time, he told himself. He needed to find a different coffee bean vendor. What coffee seller would not have St. Helena coffee available? The hum of the conversation and the floral citrus scent of the brewing Ethiopian Yirgachifi drifted to and fro like waves gently washing a white sand beach. He looked up and saw Caroline McCluskey, the town librarian, and her friend Magnolia Nadine stand and pick up their umbrellas. Leaving already, he said. There's still plenty of coffee. Before either Caroline or Magnolia Nadine could answer, an enormous mountain of a man squeezed through the door and entered the Really Good. He was wearing a black raincoat that looked big enough to do double duty as a revival tent. And on his head was an oilcloth Outback-style hat. The drops of drizzle glistened in the lights of the shop like tiny diamonds. With his arms spread wide, his deep baritone voice thundered, "May the Lord bless you one and all." The stranger had everyone's attention. Reverend Billy Bob Baskin caught the eye of Reverend Ember Cole and raised an eyebrow. Jack Bonhoeffer looked up from the book he was reading at his seat by the cash register. The man seated by the window stopped scrolling on his phone. And Graham Houston, owner and editor of the Magnolia Bluff Chronicle, the town's only newspaper, pulled out his notebook and pencil and started writing. Fergus, the town drunk, applauded. Caroline and Magnolia Nadine resumed their seats. The enormous man continued, "I am Brother John, a wanderer, a pilgrim, a stranger in a strange land. I have been guided to this fair city so that I may raise the lamp of the Lord to look into the hearts of men and women. Houston's eyes opened wide and he muttered, "Shoot! Bunyan, Heinlein, and Diogenes. Which of you gentle people is the proprietor of this esteemed establishment?" The man slowly moved his head to take in everyone present. Harry stood and circled around his table, saying as he walked up to the man, "I'm Harry Thurgood. I own this esteemed establishment." "Brother John, at your service, good sir." He gave Harry a deep nod of his head. "Perhaps you will be so kind as to grant this servant of our gracious Lord and magnificent master a boon." From the corner of his eye, Harry noticed Ember was struggling to keep a straight face, which made the task even more difficult for him to do likewise. "Well, Brother John, I suppose it depends on the boon." "A humble request, good sir. I would like to put a placard in your window to inform the good folk of your town that the Lord has seen fit to bring to them and to you, good sir, Brother John's traveling salvation and holiness extravaganza, and the divine voices of the Reston family singers." Harry looked over at the table where his friends were staring at the Man Mountain, then turned his attention back to Brother John. "Well, sir, that is quite a boon." "Surely you cannot see it as a huge request. It is but one placard placed in your window." "It's not a huge request, and it's certainly reasonable. But you see," Harry pointed to the table where his friends were seated, "there is the Reverend Billy Bob Baskin, pastor of the Presbyterian Church here in Magnolia Bluff. And the woman seated across from him is the Reverend Ember Cole, who is the pastor of the Methodist Church." Brother John gave each of them a slight nod of his massive head. Harry continued, "I keep the religious peace, so to speak, by not taking sides. My shop is free from religious favoritism. However, let me make up for declining your boon by offering you a cup of coffee on the house." "Very well, good sir. I will take you up on your offer. A hot cup of Java will push away the chill." "Yes, it will." "May I have that to go?" "Certainly." And before Harry could get behind the counter, Estrelita appeared before the newcomer with a tall cardboard cup and a paper bag. She handed both to Brother John. "Thank you, young lady." He took the items and peered into the bag. A smile spread across his face. "May the Lord bless you, young lady. May he make his face shine upon you, and may he give you peace." Estrelita blushed, and Brother John, giving everyone a nod, said, "May the Lord bless you one and all," and squeezed back through the door into the wind and the drizzle. Harry whispered to Estrelita, "What did you put in the bag?" "A cheese Danish." "Well, that sure earned you a few brownie points." She blushed again and walked back behind the counter. Houston turned from watching the Man Mountain leave and said, "I like that, Thurgood. Free from religious favoritism. Of course, we all know that there's a little Methodist to your madness." Everyone broke out laughing, and Ember turned 50 shades of crimson.
Very good. I like that.
Yay, very good. Very good. Very good. Really good. Really
Really good. It's really good. Yes.
That was so good. Now, do you do audio